you think you're more like a cat or a dog?
I've been told cat. I went to thinking of my dogs and I think, oh, I'm loyal like a dog. I follow my kids around like a dog. But I probably am more cat. You know, when I was in acting class, the Strasberg Institute, we would study cats because they only use the muscles they needed. They kind of have perfect relaxation and they always land on their feet. But there's something about a cat where it's like, it's either very loving and it's like really, really with you, or do not get in its space. I have a feeling I'm a little bit like that. I'm in my private space a lot, but then if I'm with you, you know. The name of the movie is Maria.
Did you know about Maria Callas before you started?
I didn't know very much. I'd been to the opera, but I hadn't really led opera in my life. I felt at that time, which I don't feel now, that it was something that you had to grow up with or know in a way that I didn't. I now listen to opera regularly, and I know that it was made for everyone. It's not an elitist art form. It doesn't take much to look her up and you start to see everybody's opinion of her, but you don't really know her. I listened to her interviews and I learned a little bit more about her as a person. Maria had dogs. She had poodles. I think she didn't have a lot of love in her life, so I think she appreciated her little poodles. I think she felt sometimes the public was with her and sometimes they really weren't. I think she was very misunderstood. Her illnesses were not known. For example, when she couldn't make a performance, the vitriol and the stories were really unbelievable. And then we come to discover she was really dealing with a lot medically. I think there's this idea of her that she just wanted to be glamorous or be the thing. And I think it was more survival. Her mother made very clear to her when she was young that she was not good enough as she was. And so I think that she was always trying to pull it all together to do and be and present as much as she could, because I don't think she felt that just Maria was enough. I do like playing real people. I feel I'm good at it if I've come to care for them. I have to actually like them or even love them, I think, to do a good job. Because you want to be truthful to who the person really was and not make a saint out of them. But you have to want for the audience to connect to them emotionally. The more I learned about Maria, the real Maria, the more I felt she deserved more empathy and understanding. I always have trouble with these questions about acting because I'm very grateful to have been able to tell stories and play these characters and work with other artists on set. I don't know my relationship to acting. I did it in the beginning because I think it was my grandmother's dream. I know it was my mother's dream, but my grandmother took my mother. They would get on the train and go to Chicago and go to the theater, and then they moved to LA and really tried to pursue. But by the time my mom was 25, she was divorced with 2 kids. And she decided she would focus her life solely on her motherhood. She loved being a stay-at-home mom. But she really wanted me to be an actress. So I don't remember making the choice to be an actress. I remembered it made my mom happy. And I started to help pay bills and things like that when I was young. So my mom was my manager, and we were a team. I always wanted to buy her a house and things like that. It kind of started that way. So when my mom passed, I think it was harder for me to be an actress for a while because I realized how much it was for her.
What is your secret skill?
Well, I cannot parallel park, sew, or cook, but I can fly a plane. I have a Cirrus. My son is now flying.
Do you get nervous when he flies?
No. I worry more that people aren't finding themselves and they're something they love. I think that's more dangerous, to kind of walk too tentatively through life and you don't risk, you don't wake up with passion. I think that's scarier. So I'd rather they be out there trying and failing than not pushing and being passionate. I'm a Gemini. What are Geminis like? Yeah. I think we're mistaken for being of 2 faces, but we probably have 20. Which is probably why a lot of us are actors. I think the mistake is the idea that there's a real side and a not real side, or a true side or a not true side. I think we just have many, many sides. So we're a little mercurial and probably find all different kinds of people interesting, all different ways of life interesting. We're not fixed. So I think we're misunderstood at times, like everyone is. Everyone's misunderstood.